another success. We've now got 5 of 6 chain plates out. Pretty pumped because this was one of the forward ones that I just did not think were going to get out. But talking with Rick, who's on the boat next to us, he gave me a couple tips. Just sort of a simple thing that ended up making the difference. It was still a real bear to get out. I was pounding the bottom of the chain plate to get it to go up because it was caught on that last or the highest bolt once again. So I'll show you a couple things here. First of all, here is the chain plate itself. This is it. I was pretty happy to get it out. As you can see here, gosh, these things are this one looks like to be in exceptional shape. Obviously we're still going to replace them anyway, but it's amazing. After, 30 years or something like that? Yeah, 30 years. So now let me show you what was going on in here. So this is the chain plate. This bolt up here, just like I had to do on the starboard mid one, I had to cut it off. Shave off maybe the last 1/4 inch of it or something like that, and it was still a real bear to get the chain plate out. The chain plate was stuck on this the whole time, and so I was pounding with a hammer up and then running upstairs and trying to pull it out, and then finally I got it. I had to get it all the way past this bolt before it just popped right out off the top. I have absolutely no idea how they got these in originally, but I guess I don't need to know that, but glad that one's over, and I'll move over to the port side after I take a little break here. So sorry about the darkness in here, but I realized I should say a little bit about what suggestion Rick gave me, and that was merely just cutting out this little piece right here of the wood backing, and that allowed me to get a screwdriver underneath the chain plate to start prying up the chain plate, and sure enough, it worked, and that got the chain plate, almost all the way off the bolts. Then I put it back on, cut the top bolt, and then pried it off again, and banged it off. All right, I guess it's been about 48 hours since I made that last clip that you just saw. Right after that, I got the port forward one off. It was pretty easy, didn't involve too much pounding. But I did have to cut off the end of the bolt, like I've had to do on a couple of the others. Then yesterday, so then that afternoon, that night, I was taping up all the holes because we were supposed to get some rain yesterday and today, and so I had taped up all the holes. Then went out with Rick to dinner. 2 of us went out. Place down in St. Mary's. It was nice, kind of get away from the boat for a little bit. Came back, and it still wasn't raining yet. Woke up the next morning, it was just absolutely pouring. And so I was hanging out in the boat, and suddenly I was talking to my mom on the phone, and I felt like my butt was getting wet. And I tell her this, and she thinks I'm crazy, and I sort of thought I was crazy. And then 20 minutes later, I'm on the phone with Margaret, and this is about 11 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and I realized that indeed my butt is wet. That water had been pouring in through those holes, primarily out of one of the chain plate holes, the aft starboard one, where water sort of pools on the deck, usually around that chain plate, which is also, no surprise, I think, why that chain plate was the one, the knee of that one was the one where the bolt was broken off. And so the water was coming down. I'll show you over here. So the water was primarily coming down out of here. That's the chain plate knee back there, if you can't see in there. Coming down, some of it was rolling off right over here, coming down. Others of it was coming down the outside of that little locker there. And then eventually making its way out onto what is the bottom of the settee. And I can't believe it didn't somehow make its way to the hull, the bilge instead, but it didn't. And this got wet enough. This is the cushion inside of this, cover, got wet enough that it actually got my butt wet, as I said. So I sort of, had to go into real recovery mode there. Obviously, you can see sorry about that. Obviously you can see I took the cover off of the cushion. I had the fan on it all day yesterday. It's now dry. I just need to put it back together. And then last night, you know, there really wasn't much I could do about the water coming in. I was able to put a little bit more tape on it, you know, when the rain was coming down, to just try to staunch the flow a little bit. But then last night the rain finally stopped briefly, or I shouldn't say briefly, for most of the evening, and I was able to get out there, really kind of do a good job on you know, covering them up a little bit better. Use some butyl tape to make some dams around them, around each of the holes, but especially that aft starboard one, to try to keep the water from pooling there. It looks like I'm going to find out whether that's going to work, because it just started pouring about half an hour ago here. It's since stopped, but it's supposed to rain a lot this evening again. So I kind of stopped working, you know, for a little bit. Well, not for a little bit, for the day when that rain started, because I thought it was the rain for the day. But now it looks like I could have gotten a little bit more done, although it's supposed to start raining at any moment. So I don't think I'm going to haul everything back out. So that's the story of the side chain plates, and then I still had the backstay, chain plate to do. The two forestays, the inner forestay and the outer forestay, are both attached to different parts of the sort of the Samson post and the bowsprit. So those are different things, and Margaret and I are talking about whether we're going to replace them this year or we're going to wait till next year or something like that to do that. I think that's going to be a little bit easier, although who knows. So I had to get the backstay one out, and started early this morning. As soon as I woke up and realized there was no rain, I got right out of bed and jumped up doing work. Pulled everything out of Lazarette and I even took apart some of the hoses in there and stuff like that, trying to get to the stern of the boat in there so that I could undo the bolts, or undo the nuts on the bolts that were holding the chain plate in. And it just wasn't happening. I got stuck twice, and it was on the second time that I realized no matter what happens, there's no way I'm getting my body, the couple feet that I needed to get back to the back chain plate. There's all the steering cables are back there, all sorts of different stuff, hoses and the water heater, all sorts of things that just make it almost impossible to get beyond the into the last like 3-4 feet of the lazarette. So I ended up cutting a hole in the our aft starboard like locker that's up there, and it's I made it 8 inches. I have a deck plate that I'm going to put on it. It's on the side, so it's not going to get much water on. Plus that what am I trying to say here? That locker usually has a cover on it. It doesn't right now, because that happens to be the locker cover that Margaret is working on back in Peoria. And so I cut out the hole, and I haven't yet put in the 8-inch deck plate on the side. Maybe I'll get a shot of that if I can get out there, before it starts raining again. And lo and behold, if I laid on my stomach in the most uncomfortable position ever and had the ratchet in my right hand, I was able to get back to the bolts, and I was able to take them all off without dropping anything, the wrench or the any of the bolts or the washers, which was a big relief, because I wasn't going to be able to pick them up, and I don't want more metal in the any metal in the bilge. And then it was a matter of pulling it off the top, and it was a little difficult, but but eventually I got the chain plate out, and I'll show you here the chain plate. Well, first of all, this was the covering plate, and it had like a ton of 5200 or whatever this is on here, and also had some of the packing attached to it. And the packing that came out, you can see this here. This is some of it. it was pretty nasty, a little rusty. It was making me really worried. I was worried about how bad the chain plate was going to be when I finally pulled it out, because this is the worst packing that we've seen, and it was, it was slightly damp as well. But pull the chain plate out, and it's not too bad. A little surprising. I'm surprised that it wasn't worse. Here's where it goes through the deck, and it looks like there's, I don't know. We can clean this up to really be sure, but it looks like there's some nasty stuff there. I guess I was pleasantly surprised when I got to that point and saw that the chain plate wasn't really bad, because I was imagining that, man, this, the chain plate's got to be falling apart, and who knows what shape the bolts and the knee is in. I still don't really know what shape the knee is in, and I think I'm going to try to get in there with the camera again, if it stays dry, and take some pictures of the knee, because I can't see it to access it, and see what kind of condition it's in. I hope it's in good condition, because God knows what we'd have to do to get at that. It would probably be a major deconstruction in order to just access the knee, in order to repair it. So I was actually in the process of finishing off that hole to get the deck plate on, and I was needed to cut off just a little bit more, and the deck plate would have went on when the rain started. And so I quickly hauled all my tools in, cleaned up the mess as best as possible as the rain was coming down, and then got some covering on that backstay hole. It's been successful. Got all the chain plates out, which is good. Hopefully I'll splice in a couple pictures of some of the stuff that I've been talking about. I head off the boat tomorrow to head back to Peoria for the weekend, and so I won't be back till Monday. Contemplating making a run down to Jacksonville to talk to a metal fabricator down there this afternoon about the chain plates, but I don't really know if I have enough time. It's already almost 3 o'clock. I really need a shower. I haven't showered in a couple days. Sure, I didn't need to tell you that, but I did, and I got fiberglass dust all over me. So just sort of cleaning up things, and wanted to get this, this update up there. So stay tuned, and we'll be telling you what's going on. Take it easy.